Capitalism, God's way of determining who is smart and who is poor.
There is only one thing he hates more than lying: skim milk, which is water that is lying about being milk.
History began on July 4th, 1776.
Clear alcohol is for rich women on diets.
There's only one bad word: taxes.
Put some alcohol in your mouth to block the words from coming out.
Never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing.
America, the only country that matters. If you want to experience other cultures, use an atlas or ham radio.
These quotes are by Ron Swanson, Parks and Recreation.
I'm doing my part.
This November, vote Aaron Deshotel for President of the United States of America.
I'm doing my part.
And Gunnar Gray, Vice President of the United States of America.
I'm doing my part. 2024.
Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, June 22nd, 7:31 in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast, the news show that looks at the narratives and the news from the week and tries to make sense of it for you, all while having some great craft beer and laughing a little bit longer. Good evening, Fitz.
Good evening, McShane.
And that's the show, everybody.
That's all I got. That's all I got. It's
we're going to bring the heat tonight. I think that's
Dude, it's just, you know what? It's going to be an interesting show, just in the sense that when, you and I were looking over the dock earlier today, well, really all week, it's thin out there, guys. It's been a quiet week.
Very.
I think it's safe to say, clear to say, that Tuah girl stole the show.
Yes.
Basically, she canceled Pride Month, which, thank you, whoever you are. I want to hug you just for that. Apparently, she's a preschool teacher, and so she got fired because of this. So, I'd like to, Tuah girl, if you're out there, I would like to formally invite you to interview from my place of employment. Contact me through X, and I will personally guarantee you an interview and probably a job, because we need good people, and you're good people. Because you know what? She brought us all together. She made us all laugh, and I don't know why she's being punished for that. So anyway, but we got a good show. We got some weird stuff going on. We got some updates. We got what do we got, McShane?
So I think we're kind of in that trough or lull before something's going to break.
Something big. Yep. Agreed.
We've got a little bit of action in the Gulf with the Houthis and the Blowfish.
Yep. Houthis.
And we have it's the first week of summer, so every outlet is pushing the climate scam this week.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
It completely
stupid.
is.
Yeah.
You've got probably the most interesting thing is the cheap fake videos that have been floating around, and how the Democrats are trying to spin their inability to meme. It was an interesting week, but like you said, thin. We've got a lot to talk about, though. We did find out that loud noises make people fat.
Yeah, and bra size determines how much you sweat.
Yep. And there is a penis cancer epidemic that's going on there. So, it is Men's Mental Health Month. So we're gonna pause for a minute for penis cancer.
Who doesn't love a good penis cancer?
Well, we might talk about it tonight, so we'll see.
All right. I have something I want to get into with you and Jefe when Jefe is able to join us. I've got a business proposal. I feel like once every couple of weeks I come up with something, and they're generally like genius ideas. And we just need a little bit of startup money, just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah. Anyway, so just to get your wheels spinning a little bit, just so you're thinking about it. Think the PGA, but the X Games version. All right, we're going X PGA tonight, and so we're gonna get your thoughts. We're gonna get Hefe's thoughts, and some of my thoughts on what that would look like. So that's something I want to talk about.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
I mean, because there's nothing more boring than watching golf on TV, right? I mean, I put it on so that I can take a nap. Like that's why I turn it on. Otherwise, I can't imagine just sitting there watching that and actually being entertained. I was mildly entertained, I guess, by Tiger Woods back in the day, but even that was boring as shit. And I was just thinking, what could make that more fun? So we're going to have an X Games version of the PGA. And like I said, just a little bit of startup money. I think we're golden.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the conversation. As always, we do have in chat tonight. Let's see, we've got Buttercup. Hawk Tuah is in there. I think that's Jay. Otherwise, if that's the Hawk Tuah girl, please DM Fitz.
Yeah.
He has a
let me
job
know.
proposal for you.
Yep.
Joe's debate coach, Aaron, is in chat. I had to say it, pod. And Elle is also here. And Elle wants to help check for lumps in penises. So anybody out there, please reach out to the show, and we will get you connected to Elle so that she can check you for lumps.
Prostate
like
exams? Or it's actually, that's not really the prostate. Prostate, you go in from the backside, right?
Yeah. This would be, I think it's the whole front carriage. It seems like, and I mean, she might be okay with a good prostate exam too. You'll have to arrange that though. You'll have to talk to her about that.
I think that's kind of user preference, right? I mean, if you want the prostate, go for that. But...
Right. Yeah. That's not on the dollar menu though. That's
okay.
That's got
that'll cost you extra. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Maybe
girls
that's
gotta have her limits.
Well, it's like a Happy Meal, or a combo meal, I guess. You gotta
which part of that's a Happy Meal? All of it?
Well, I guess it could be the toy surprise that comes in the box. I don't know.
Hey-o.
I'm gonna think about that.
We just pulled that off. Well done.
Yep, that's what we do. We pull things off. Hey, what beer are you diving into tonight?
Well, this one's going to be interesting, and the only reason I say that is number one, I've got an unknown brewery to me. It's called Imprint Brewing Company. Imprint, as in, do you know Imprint?
I do. I have heard of Imprint. We get an Imprint out here occasionally.
Okay, well, that's who made this beer. It poured I'm guessing it's some sort of milkshake or sour. In that family, because it poured like a pinkish, cloudy lemonade color. And this weird. You ever been to the ocean and that weird foam just forms as the tide's coming in, and it just never goes away. It just keeps getting thicker and thicker.
And you
that's
wonder
what
like
the head on
what was the chemical makeup that led to that?
Yeah,
like this shouldn't be happening. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's completely unnatural, and yet here we are, and I'm gonna drink it because it's got head on it like that. So I say I saw chunks of fruit come out when I was pouring it. So it's a thick one. It's definitely like a shake or something. But let's see what we got here.
Okay. That's cool. They do a smoothie, so that's probably in the realm of what you were
Oh, that's
looking at.
exactly what it's got to be. That strawberry, all kinds of strawberry. Holy shit, this thing's like a strawberry shortcake just exploded in my mouth.
So
And I
I
mean
don't
that
know
in a
if you
sexual way.
can you see this?
Uh, sort of.
Because it seriously sucks.
Yeah.
This is the
Why isn't it coming
imprint
through more
beer.
clearly?
It's because they tried to load a PDF to the site, and it's not. It's a really garbage way to do it. But you've got a strawberry guava right off the top.
Okay. That might be
Um,
what I'm getting here because it's so heavy strawberry. Wow.
you also have a watermelon strawberry peach.
No, no, no watermelon or peach in this thing.
What
I'm
about a
going with the
raspberry and prickly pear? That was the last one that had strawberry in it.
I'll give that a distant second. It could be that one, but
Okay.
I'm getting much more of the guava strawberry combo here.
Okay. Okay.
All right, let's see
All
what we got. Let's unveil it. All right, we have one that's not on there at all. This is
Son
the
of a bitch.
schmoogie. This
Okay.
is the patisserie. It is a strawberry raspberry cake smoogie from Imprint Beer Company. Really solid beer. There's nothing on the can except kind of some, I don't know, mildly disturbing artwork of a giant mouth eating a strawberry shortcake. But this is one of those that was in the clearance, so a fairly cheap. I'm looking for an ABV here, and I'm not. Yeah, no shit. Heavily fruited smoothie sour ale. Yeah, heavily fruited is an understatement. Well, apparently you get to make up whatever ABV you want in this thing because it's nowhere on the can. So It's a low ABV. It's pretty low, which actually helps the whole overall sort of impact of the flavor because it really just is quite delicious. I wasn't really prepared for a dessert beer this early in the show, but this is dessert, man. This is really good.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
a little bit of sour, nice sweet strawberry, a little bit of vanilla in there for the whipped cream. I mean, it's dangerously close to a sex beer. I'm not going to go there yet. Let's give it a little bit of time, but
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm feeling some of the little orgasmal twinges back in the back of my throat there.
All right.
I'm feeling them. Yeah.
All right. It's not a full Hawk Tuah yet, though.
No, we are not full Hawk Tuah yet.
All right.
Spit on
We're
that
gonna have
thing. Okay.
Peach Sour Nova is what I'm going with. Only this is the barrel-aged version of it.
Ooh.
Peaches, vanilla beans, and it should have some oak presence to it. So, a little Almanac Brewing Company for you guys out there.
Solid brewery.
Let's go ahead and try it. Yeah. They're from Alameda.
Almanac from Alameda.
Oh, super sour. Dry.
So you might have to provide your own Hawk Tuah on this one, just to wet
Oh.
that thing up.
Yeah, it's ooh. This is one of those beers that would be a precursor to a really good Hawk Tuah.
You know what? Before the
it
show
really-
started, I told myself, like, just don't go there. Like, everybody knows, everybody's seen the video.
Yeah.
She's super popular. Just let it go. But it fits with everything. God damn it. It's perfect.
It really does, and it's like a battle cry.
That's all she was missing was some face paint, some war paint.
So we'll
yeah.
leave it at the Peach Sour Nova. It is good. I'm not getting. It's a full blown sour. I'm not getting a lot of the vanilla or the peach going along with it. We'll have to see how that warms up. Super tart though. Are we going to explain what the Hawk Tuah girl is doing? I mean, for those who are living under a rock,
No.
or are we just going to make you guys go out and Google it?
Yeah, no, go find it. Go find her and go find all of it. It wasn't just the video because I saw
It
the full
wasn't.
interview, her full interview.
Yeah.
And she's adorable. She's out having a good time. She gets, pulled to the side by this guy who just starts throwing just those dumb fuck questions like, how do you get over a relationship? And, what's one move in the bedroom that a guy loves? And, he's just throwing these dumb questions out, trying to get these cute girls to talk to him. And she full on just like lets it loose. You can tell she's got a couple of drinks in her. She just says what the fuck's on her mind. And it's funny. She's making her friend laugh. She's making the dude interviewer laugh. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it. I know some people are like, pointing to that clip as like, oh, this is proof that, we're doomed. Like American culture is just fucked. She's just a girl. She's just out having fun. Leave it the fuck alone. It'd be no worse than a guy being like, holy shit, what I wouldn't do to her. Or, I know one move that makes girls crazy kind of thing. Like, you're out with your friends. You're just having fun. I don't know why people are making such a big deal out of it. Although she has become a shared experience for, probably half of the United States population and half the world, maybe. I don't know. And so that part of it, like I said, I feel like she brought us all together. She completely just shut down Pride Month. And I love that. And, because she's a heterosexual girl talking about doing stuff with a sexual partner. Like, great.
There you go.
Fun. Why don't we talk about it?
That's it. That's it. She's heterosexual. That's why people are angry about it.
Yep.
That's the only part that's angering about it, is because that was what she would do with her partner.
Right.
That's why people are pissed about it.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to go on a rant now or not, but that is truly, that's the war that's going on with that one.
Yep.
But fortunately, I think there's more people that actually are finding it humorous and just enjoying the moment that she was in, and that she has a sense of humor, and she was comfortable to be goofy. That's really what the beauty of it was.
Take it for what it is, man. To quit looking too deeply into it. And if you're some sort of sexual fucking recluse, like you only you cut a hole in the sheet and you just do missionary, that's fine. Then you don't have to join in our fun with us, but don't fucking ruin it. Like, just go, slide up and down your woman and pretend to yourself, tell yourself that she's enjoying it, and let the rest of us have some fucking fun in the bedroom, and fuck off, kindly fuck off.
Well, this is from chat. If she had blue hair and was talking about fisting a land whale, they would be singing her praises.
A land whale? Holy shit. Oh, I'm pretty sure I've seen that video. I was by mistake. I wasn't looking for it.
All right. I don't think we had any housekeeping for this week. I don't think there was anything we needed to get into from last week. We do have an update from the Idaho farmers, which I think is a really good one to lead off with. You want to do that?
Yes. Yeah. Let's get into that.
So we've talked about this gentleman before. This is at Free Matt Kim on X. You guys can find him everywhere. But this is a really, really interesting rabbit hole that he started talking about early this week. I think we found it on Monday, or you found it on Monday or Tuesday.
But this is pretty early.
Yeah. Now this actually connects the Ukraine war funding to what's happening in Idaho. So for everybody who just needs a brief reminder, the state of Idaho is blocking off water to Idaho farmers, which is going to do a significant amount of damage to their ability to, one, grow crops, but two, keep their farms going, which is a theme, as we've talked about.
Yeah, it's already shutting down some farms. I mean, they're already having problems. Mind you, they mandated this after the farmers had already invested in this year's harvest. So they already plowed, they already bought all the seeds and the fertilizer, they already sowed the seeds. They're just all they need now is what ground. State legislature came down and said, no, you can't. And mind you, this has been a banner year for most of Idaho as far as rainfall, as far as snowpack, as far as river volume. They're near records for all of that. Record highs, not lows, highs. And plus, most of these farmers pull water from their own fucking ground well that's underneath they own. And still the legislature said you can't do it. We need to conserve water. And that's where this all leads. Like, why? What are we conserving water for?
Well, here's hopefully the why.
Do you wonder where all the Ukraine money is going?
Got it.
Well, it looks like we've started a thread to pull. Idaho is trying to shut off water to 500,000 acres of farmland, 781 miles. But there's been plenty of rain this spring, so that's not it. They say it's due to water reserves underground, that it's projected to deplete at a too fast of a rate to preserve water supply. They need to shut off the water to 500,000 acres of Idaho farmland. But, the Continuing Appropriations and Ukraine Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2023 approved $4.5 billion for direct financial support to the government of Ukraine, or so they said. Jervois Global Limited enters an agreement for $15 million for information on drilling at its Idaho cobalt mine, utilizing funds from the additional Ukraine Supplemental Appropriations Act. Why is money for direct financial support for the government of Ukraine being rerouted by the Department of Defense to a cobalt mine in Idaho? Cobalt used in batteries for your phones, computers, electric cars. There are countless valuable usages for cobalt. Any side effects of cobalt we should be aware of, considering we use it in everything? Cobalt exposure triggers impairments in cognitive and anxiety-like behaviors, brain oxidative stress, and inflammation. And do you know what's a necessary component of cobalt mining in mass? Guessed it, water. Lots of water. On May 31st, 2024, Idaho Department of Water announced shutting off water to 500,000 acres of farmland. June 21st, 2024, Jervois cobalt mine can start drilling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Idaho is shutting off water due to a shortage at the same time the cobalt mine is set to start operating 24/7. And it's Ukraine's funding bill, one of many, that gave $15 million to Jervois to restart operations after losing money. Couple of things to look further into. How many members of Congress have a financial interest in this cobalt mine? My initial research, a lot. Also, is it linked to the CHIPS Act, where they gave Micron a fistful of money to start manufacturing in Idaho? And are they trying to destroy crops so they can take the land and mine more cobalt, or is it purely to control the water supply? I was just in Idaho, absolutely beautiful state filled with great people. And the government shows up with the government gun and forces their will. Again, maybe it's just a coincidence and I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Perhaps. But one fact remains absolutely true. Money that we were told was going to Ukraine is not. There is no coincidence.
I think by now we've kind of figured out that the money we know is not going to Ukraine. It's either going in somebody's pocket in Ukraine named Zelensky and his cronies, or it's being routed into the military-industrial complex. And apparently this is a thing now. So I'm glad he came up with this and dropped this. I think it's a fantastic twist, a horrible twist, but I don't know what you do about that. I have no idea.
Yeah, and I also like that he and again, I think we try and do a good job with this. I think a lot of sort of pirate journalists, is that I don't know. I guess we're not calling ourselves that, but a lot of people out there that are kind of digging into things. He's just asking questions. Number one, I found this fact that $15 million is being, funneled into this company that wants to do research for cobalt mining in Idaho. You need a lot of water to do this. He's putting things together, but he's also just saying, why is that? What's happening here? Why would a Ukraine bill, why would Ukraine money be funneled back into something like this? I think the whole point of all of this is it's important to ask these questions. And the fact that Tom Brokaw or whoever, I don't even know who the fucking talking heads are anymore. I know Tom Brokaw retired. He got out of the game because he said it was corrupt, and he's right.
Right. But
whoever the talking heads are, why aren't they asking these important questions? Why aren't they out there doing some hard-nosed journalism? Where's those boots on the ground type people that are going to do this digging? I guess Matt Kim's one of them. The long-haired dude that what the hell is his name? Ian
Carroll.
Yeah, Ian Carroll. I guess there's people out there like that doing it. But what's funny is they just started doing it because they wanted to know. They weren't doing it for a job. And our actual, people that go to journalism school, they're out there writing stories about climate change and how there's, deep fakes of President Biden. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, there's
so
more
I
money
think
in
he's
that.
Well, is there? I don't know. And I mean, I hope there isn't anymore. There might have been
Oh.
10 years ago, but I don't know if
Oh.
there is now.
I think there's still way more money in printing what the government wants you to print, and that's why this stuff gets hidden.
Yeah.
It sucks. It absolutely sucks, and I don't have an answer for that. I mean, we bitch about this a lot on the show. I mean, we do rely on a lot of these. I like that pirate journalist. That's kind of the indie journalist. I like that.
Yep.
Because they do come up with this stuff, and all this information is out there. You can go ahead and find it. I was looking up screwing around with a couple of different AI places and looking up who finances the CDC earlier today. And did you know that the CDC isn't financed by? They actually take money from everybody but the government.
Everyone but the government. That's right.
Everybody but the government. Yeah.
Yep.
All this information is out there, but whether, the MSNBCs, the CNNs, the Fox Newses, they're not going to cover it. They're not going to look at it,
Yeah.
which
They
makes it easier for this cancer, for lack of a better term, to continue.
Yeah, and I mean, they give these organizations, the Fed, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, the Federal Reserve is what the Fed stands for. They make it sound like they're part of government. They're very official sounding, and yet they are private businesses. And it's common knowledge now, I would think, or at least somewhat more common knowledge. But 20 years ago, I didn't know what the Fed was. I was just like, oh, well, they're coming out with financial policy. I guess we go with that. The CDC says I should, get my flu vaccine. Oh, okay, that sounds official. But in real time, in actuality, as we're getting into all this stuff, these are just private businesses, and private businesses have one duty, which is to make money.
Yep.
Period. That's it. That's their only job, is to have due diligence to make more money and give more profit to their shareholders. That's it. Which is an insane thing if you think about that. These are also the same places that are, quote unquote, making government policy and advising government. It's insanity.
Well, let's go ahead and continue with the climate scam, shall we?
Okay. I like that.
June 5th, House report finds Biden's green energy policies hurt consumers and weaken the power grid. This was from the Washington Times. We knew it kind of all along that this wasn't working, and it was just kind of bullshit. And the more time has gone on, it looked like there were handouts going to companies that weren't paying off. You have, what was it? I think 7 charging stations have been built across the country in the last 3 years since Biden came into office.
Yep.
And it's cost over $7 billion for those 7, and there's nothing else to show for it. But
Zero.
it's nice that at least it's starting. The walls are kind of starting to crumble on that. At least we're starting to see that it's all a pile of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't know if we've talked about John Shuchuk before. He's a great follow, at least for me. He's a retired lieutenant colonel from the United States Air Force. And what he did for the United States Air Force was he was their chief meteorologist. So
Right.
The guy knows his shit. And he has been single-handedly dismantling the climate scam. He is going with his own money on his own dime. He is going to every single meteorological station that is, quote unquote, taking temperature readings,
Right.
and either finding out that they're a ghost station. There's actually nothing there except some trees and an electrical station, or he's finding that they are, like we've talked about before, they're measuring temperatures on the tarmac of a runway of a very busy airport in Dallas or LAX, you know? So yeah, it's going to be a little bit hotter there when you got plane after plane after plane and that asphalt never cools off. So anyway, he's been single-handedly dismantling this thing on his own dime. And yet we have our government that says, well, we're going to do these things that it's going to help, you know, to pull carbon out of the air, which again, we're not going to go down that road, but carbon's like a good thing because it grows plants. But okay, we're going to do these things. And then we find out that they've spent billions and they have 7 stations up around the country, not like in one city, around the country, 7. The level of bureaucratic governmental ineptitude, there's got to be a better word, but they are so fucking inept. How are we allowing this? Why is this okay? Why? Well, I know why. Because we're not, the people we vote for, quote unquote, vote for, are not doing what we are asking them to. And that's even if our vote counts. I'm guessing most of those people got in there because they were willing to corrupt their own souls. And our votes never even counted at this point. That's how it feels.
Well, all of it's turned into a bridge to nowhere, right?
Right.
$369 billion to address energy security and climate change. What have we done with that? Nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
And I think part of that is there's nothing to do with it.
Right.
When the answer is, stopping cows from farting.
Right.
And with the Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed in 2022, and that was $369 billion to address energy security and climate change. It's not leading to anything. I don't know that there's anything else that they can go ahead and try and pour money into. They're finding that wind turbines don't work, and then they're also not environmentally friendly over time because they're only good for about 10 years.
Right.
It's just a joke. It's just an absolute joke. But then we're here, and we still get to go ahead and pump out articles, saying that Phoenix is on fire.
Yeah.
And climate change makes politicians stupid.
The rhetoric this year, and it makes sense, but the rhetoric this year about essentially what boils down to is summer, and it being the hottest May on record or the hottest June on record, or this heat dome that's killing billions. I mean, what? It's so insane. It's so over the top. It's almost like they keep, and we've talked about this, they keep overplaying their hand. It's like if you would have just dropped a little one here or there, maybe it's believable. But at this point, you're so over the top. Like, look how big my dick is. Look how big my dick is. Look how big my dick is. And then, you pull your pants down and you're actually just kind of an inflated clit down there. It's like, stop talking about it. And we never would have pulled down your pants. Like we wouldn't have even looked. But because you keep saying it, now we got to check. And lo and behold, you're a fucking liar. And the whole government is a lie. It's a sham. It's a scam. It's ridiculous.
This is my favorite story from the week, though. The effect of temperature on language complexity. Evidence from 7 million parliamentary speeches. Okay, this is a legitimate journal, right? This is a legitimate paper, okay, that was actually scientifically done. It was published on June 13th, and basically what they're going for is climate change is leading to dumber politicians. It's almost as though the idea is, well, everybody agrees at least that politicians are dumb. So we can blame that on climate change. So now everybody will work on climate change so that politicians are less dumb. That was my takeaway from this whole study.
I think the basic conjecture, I'm not a scientist. I'm a fan of science, and I do read some scientific journals. And I know how scientists, you can tell when a scientist is spinning something to make their point or when they're just reporting facts. And this one, they keep talking about, this is one of the highlights. We find warmer temperatures to reduce language complexity of politicians. Okay. What about the population as a whole? Like, how do you know we're not all getting stupider? They're picking out very carefully some very, very particular sliver of the population, and not claiming that, because they can't claim that climate change as a whole is making us all dumber, because it's not. We're all waking up and finding this shit out, but they can key in on this little tiny sliver of the population and be like, yeah, politicians are getting dumb and it's because of climate change, which is such a ridiculous conjecture. Heat has been associated with decreased productivity and cognitive performance. Heat, like extreme heat, yeah, you do less when it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit out. Yeah, you do, because you're smart, because you get out of the heat and you go rest. It's not because cognitively you're more stupid. And so you're telling me that these politicians, the speeches they're giving, they're all outdoors? Is that also what you're telling me? Or are they inside where there's air conditioning or heating? What are you saying here? I mean, the way this whole paper was written, there are holes to poke literally in every paragraph. And I read the summary, and I got past, I don't know, maybe the 15th paragraph going forward through the results, the abstract, all of that. And I was like, you can poke holes in this in every which way. A third grader could poke holes in it, because the third grader would ask questions that are important questions that they don't answer in this study. It's ridiculous. But I agree with you. This is probably one of the better stories we saw all week, just because of the absurdity.
Well, and who's to say that politicians were dumb before?
Right. That's my point. They're all idiots. Otherwise, they wouldn't be politicians.
It's just a really, really strange take to try for. And the only thing that, I mean, I'm sure the money was good. I'm sure the money was absolutely great. And, sure. They were well taken care of for being able to print something like that. But it was just a very out of left field kind of way to try and bring that together. I thought that was strange.
This is one of those papers where, the people that are like, name one study that was funded to prove that there's climate change. Name one study. It's like, no, they all are. They all are, because the funding is written in a way that if you're not proving that warming is happening, then you don't get funded. So they're all written to prove that warming is happening, even if warming isn't happening. Even when the results are, when the pure scientists go in there and they're like, oh, actually, there's no warming, or, oh, geez, there is some warming, but it's because of the sun, and it's cycle. Those don't get any kind of news coverage at all. They get buried in the last part of the periodicals. But these stories, they make headlines. And it's just, they're all written like this. And it's, like you said, they got paid off. They got to write their little study, which is, on every level absurd.
World hits streak of record temperatures as UN warns of climate hell. Thank you, Reuters. It's summer. And we've been doing this show for almost 4 years now. And every summer we go through this.
Summer.
So this is like
yes.
This is like our summer ritual at this point. I did like that you called the hurricane season was going to be ramping up big time, and
right. Yeah, Texas, that storm surge that Galveston experienced was scary. The storm was still like 180 miles south off the coast of Galveston, but the storm surge still came in 6.5 feet. and if you're in a low-lying area, it was nightmare. I mean, you can go and look up the video. It was an absolute nightmare. What it did to Galveston, particularly the areas, I think within 10 miles of the coast, they had flooding, and it hadn't rained a drop. So yeah, that was a big one. And there's another one following that one up. It's just a, what do they call it? An invest. So like everybody's looking at it, but they're not sure if it's got low enough pressure to actually form a tropical depression or a tropical storm. But the problem with these storms is because of the really warm waters down there in the Atlantic, and the Gulf of Mexico, these storms are just going to linger. So even if they're only dumping an inch of rain, 2 inches of rain a day, they're going to be there for 2 weeks, and the water's got nowhere to go. It's too much. So I do predict by July and into the middle of July, we're going to start seeing quite a few named storms. We've got one. Albert was the one that just hit Galveston there. So that's your A name for this year. But I think we're gonna get quite a few named storms here as the summer wears on. And again, this is normal. It's just summer. We've had years where by this point in the year, there's already been 3 named storms. So we're not abnormal. It's not crazy. It's not scary. This isn't life ending, unless you're stupid. But it is something to really watch. It's going to be a pretty fun for those of us who aren't in it. It's going to be a pretty fun hurricane season to watch.
I was pretty impressed that it's been pretty mild for us. I think it has been. We're talking. Yeah. We've hit 111. Everything's a heat warning at this point, just because they like to make it a heat warning.
Yeah, because people are pussies.
Yeah, pretty much. But we haven't. I mean, it is going to be an early monsoon, though. We did have a monsoon storm that came through last night.
Oh, nice.
Las Vegas got slammed pretty good. Upper Lake Powell, in fact,
that's
had
early.
Hail, golf ice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, typically you're going to see it. At least lately, we haven't been getting it until like middle of July. But it has the potential to start early June and go all the way into August. But we've already started. Like I said, Lake Powell had golf ball size hail. People were out on their boats and stuff, and people were getting knocked out of their boats, getting slammed by hail because it came on so fast. And it's not, and to Elle's point, it was humid today, no rain, but it's got that smell to it. So I'm not. We're looking good right now. As somebody who's been in Phoenix for 48 years, I'm liking where we're at right now, especially if it keeps stays
well.
the way
And
it is.
I mean, just to kind of go on, and I saw a map today which was really very telling. But it basically from, I'm going to say, the Mississippi Basin east, they have some warm weather. Close to records, guys. That's the thing. They make these maps look like you're breaking every record. They're not even close to 1933, 34, 35, 36. Those Dust Bowl years were insanely hot, and very few cities have ever gotten hotter than those years back in the 30s when, oh, by the way, there was very little human-caused carbon in the atmosphere. But so they're not even close to records. But it is warm east of the Mississippi. And west of the Mississippi, it's at or below normal. And so the map that I saw, showed like a big giant climate change over all the warm stuff. And then over here, it's just weather. It's normal weather. It's not, there's no climate change east of the Mississippi, which is exactly right. When equal opposite reaction, we have Newtonian physics here.
Yep.
Anyway, it's you got hot somewhere, you're going to have cold somewhere else. And what we're not hearing about? The record cold autumn that the southern hemisphere is having, particularly South America. Chile, Argentina, even parts of Brazil are buried in snow right now. Feet and feet of snow. And for them, this is only like, the first part of getting into winter. They just hit their winter solstice. So they've got a long 3 or 4 months ahead of them to get out of the amount of snow that's been dumped down there. So, but we don't hear about that. All we hear about is global temperatures are, setting records. Anyway, just to kind of jump on what you said, we have not, summer solstice was yesterday. Here in Eugene, we have not gotten above the temperature of 87, and that happened today. Up until today, we have been 60s, 70s, couple of 8 only popped up there to 87. I think it might have gotten to 88, but 87, I'll call it. So it's been very mild here because we have the potential to get up over 100 here, and it hasn't happened. So very mild summer so far for us, and I'm loving every second of it. I mean, to be able to go outside and actually have the sun feel like it's nourishing your skin and not blasting it from you,
Right.
is God, it's so nice. It really is. And my garden, my backyard is so lush and green. It's like a fucking forest back there. It's amazing. So we're living the life, and I mean, I'm all about the CO2. Give us more, and fuck off with your climate change bullshit, because it's not happening.
Gray's had it looks like it was 100 there in Kentucky today,
Yep.
and looks like Mike got third degree burns today. All right, Mike.
Been there.
Congratulations. God,
Yeah.
be careful.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys aren't on the Patreon for Gray's, you certainly should be. There's a nice picture of Mike with his pants down and mooning somebody that they were talking to. I didn't stop to figure out who that was, but that was fantastic. Good job, Mike. Oh, that was Roman. Okay. Gotcha. There's some deep stuff that I don't want to get into just yet, because we are going to be coming up on our break here shortly, and I think we've got a Jefe sighting that should be coming in here in any minute.
Yeah, I think we should wait to go to our break until the Jefe makes his debut.
Well, I want to touch on loud noises making people fat, and make sure that everybody's aware that you should not be listening to our show very loud.
Oh yeah, keep it quiet for sure.
Keep your noise down. Regular exposure to loud aircraft noise could be linked to obesity, according to new study found. Speaking of studies that are probably bought and paid for, nurses living near airports nationwide who endure plane noise 45 decibels or greater were 5% more likely to be obese. Boston University and Oregon State University researchers wrote in a recent environmental international paper. How the fuck do you even come to that conclusion? I don't even know how you get there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
They're saying that
I'm trying. I'm trying to get there. I'm my little hamster wheel is running as fast as he can. Smoke is coming off the bearings. We're not supposed to go at these speeds, and I still can't get there.
prior research has shown that aircraft noise can elevate stress responses and disturb sleep, but there have been mixed evidence of any links of body mass index. They're basically implying that the loud noises cause you to stress eat.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not your shitty life. It's not high inflation. It's not that you're not able to pay your bills. It's not that
bad
your
choices,
roads
yeah.
are ruining your car. Yeah, it's not the drugs that you're on or the fact that you're an alcoholic. None of that plays into it. It's the airplane noises and people playing their stereos too loud. You got to be fucking kidding me with this stuff. They are stretching what has already been stretched, which is our collective patience and our collective ability to just turn the other cheek and be like, all right, whatever. It's stretched. It's broken. We don't fucking care about this stuff because it's so absurd. And Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, fine. Let them have it. Let them have it. You know what? This just makes me want to yell at everybody I see. And I hope you go stress eat, you fat fuck.
Well, I'm just going to walk up to people and just go, hey, maybe don't listen to such loud music. Okay,
Yeah.
Take the earphones off. You'll lose weight. We
Hey,
might as well just walk around and say that to people at this point because that's
your
the
weight.
equivalent.
Yeah, your weight suggests that you live close to train tracks. Am I right? Like, just blow people's fucking minds.
Oh, you live near an airport, don't you? Oh, look at you. You must live near like 7.
What the hell? Yeah, and I apologize for yelling at everybody in chat who's listening right now. I wasn't trying to make you gain weight tonight. It just happened.
Oh, we got a Jefe.
Do we have a
Hi.
Hey, we do.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Woo! What's up,
Hey,
man?
Jeff. Hefe,
Oh,
how's it going,
yeah.
man?
Oh, it's fucking going great.
All
I just
right.
dropped $11. Just dropped $11 on roulette, which brings me up to a total of 16 American dollars for the night.
Holy shit!
Bam.
And adjusted for inflation, that's like 28 cents.
Yeah.
Wow, you're killing it, dude.
You're going to have to pay taxes on that, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so it's more like 18 cents.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
Plus my tithing.
right. Got to give to the church.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's very
Hefe,
good of you.
Yeah. We didn't ask earlier in the day. Do we have a farm report tonight?
Yeah, you got a farm report coming.
Oh shit, yes. Okay. Well, so then that gives me the green light to I'm gonna throw something at you here, Jefe, and I want you guys to just let it ruminate, and I'm gonna tell you some of my thoughts, and then we can just kind of discuss. But
All right.
I was unfortunately I got stuck at Costco today. All right, and on every TV, some asshole put on the PGA tour, like it was golf, and I just I went on a little rant to my wife about how fucking boring it is to watch golf. There's nothing more boring. I said I'm gonna fall asleep standing up watching this bullshit. And then I thought, what could make golf more exciting? And I feel like we need to combine the PGA with the X Games. We need to make our own league called the XPGA. And there needs to be some elements to it. So I want you guys to throw out some, what are some things that you would want to see in the XPGA? So one of the thoughts I had was that it's, you could have one-on-one, or you could even have teams, like pairs of golfers. But whichever team or whichever golfer sinks their putt first, you get on the green instantly. It's a sword fight with whatever club you have in your hand. So if you drive a ball and it's a hole in one, and you've got your driver in your hand, you could beat the shit out of somebody who's still got their eight iron in their hand or whatever. So I was, adding in a combat component to it, I think would be fun. What else? Any other ideas from you guys?
Oh, I have a plethora, but Hefe, please lead.
Well, first of all, yeah, if you hit a hole in one with your driver, I'm still going to take you on with my 8-iron. It's pretty fair. But compared to a putter, which still can do some damage. But the first thing I thought of was, like, you can, I don't know, swap out someone's ball with like an exploding ball. Once
Ooh.
Russian roulette.
Yeah,
Yes.
You just never know which one it is.
like it doesn't necessarily, maim them, but it counts as a stroke. It's like a penalty stroke. It's like, oh, you lost that ball. Clearly, it's in 1,000 pieces, so that's a penalty stroke.
Right.
Unless
right.
you maybe if you can guess that it's the exploding ball, then you can swap it with a good ball. But if you guess wrong, then maybe you have to squeeze it till it explodes. Then you lose a hand.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and I like that maybe your opponent, like everybody has, 20 balls or whatever, and the opponent on any given hole could put down the explosive ball. You don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
And you can be like, nope, I veto that one. And it could have been a real ball. And now you just your chances just went up. You're going to get the explosive. That's great. I like that.
I veto that. I like that. It's
Oh yeah. You need to have one veto, every, like, maybe on the front 9 you get a veto, and on the back 9 you get a veto, each team.
Nice.
All right. I'm taking this to a little bit different direction. Same premise, but I want to concentrate on two things. One, your courses are going to be in wild animal parks. Mine ranges, maybe like an artillery field, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think out of the blue, somebody can just drive a Panzer at you. And Abrams just comes out of nowhere and it starts chasing you, and you still have to hit.
And you're on the clock. You're on the clock too.
That's right.
Yeah, I like that. I thought about that too. As like a timed. It's timed. Whoever has the best time. I mean, and every stroke adds 10 seconds. But hey, if you finished an hour before those guys, you got some play there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And whoever wins the hole, the other guy has to do shots. And it's the number of shots that you missed.
Okay. Oh, the 18th hole would be fun. Oh,
Shot
God.
right.
Yeah. Shot time.
Shot time.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm all about this, Fitz. I think it's a fantastic idea. I don't know why we couldn't get like Liv, the Saudi Arabian version of the PGA to buy into this.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, somebody's got to hear this. Yeah, and that's the other thing is, you know how the Russians have that that boxing and chess league? Like you have to you do a move and shit. Yeah. I want something like that where it's like a cerebral, you have to hit a golf ball, but then there's some sort of combat aspect to it. It could be, Jefe, going off of your sort of Russian roulette ball. It could be you just, pull out pistols. Like you get 10 paces and, boom, George just got shot, but he still has to finish you got to play through.
Yeah.
It wasn't a headshot, merely a flesh wound. And you just keep moving. I don't know. I like it. I was also thinking, adding in, like at any point, one team could just call, blindfold, and then the other team has to be blindfolded. That hole, they have to be blindfolded.
Oh, do you get caddies, or how do you?
Well, that's another component. That's another component. And I also think you should not have caddies. You have to lug your own shit around, so it's also like an endurance match.
I like that.
Yeah, that's got to happen.
Yeah.
And this is already set up. This is already set up. This is already set up for men, women, any gender can be in it.
Oh,
yeah.
Any pronoun can play this. It's totally right across the board. You don't need separate leagues or anything.
No, because if you're packing, right, you got a Glock 9mm in your in your waist carry, and at any point it's like, okay, you sunk that ball. Now we do 10 paces. Like, yeah, the women, they're just as in it as anybody.
Absolutely. And chat really wants it to be full contact. We've got axes, chainsaws, cattle prods, battle axes. Mike was talking about queering on the course. I'm not really sure where he wanted to go with that, but that's a thing.
Yes, he talked about like udders. Someone was milking
rudder.
an udder. Oh, was it a rudder? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a double Dutch rudder. That was.
I saw udder, and I just, I went right to the milking table video that I saw earlier.
Yeah, I mean that's why wouldn't you? So.
Anyway, I just feel like this needs to happen.
I like the idea.
The other fun part of it. Remember the skills competitions that they used to do at the All-Star game for the NFL? Not the All-Star game. What was it called? The Hall of Fame Bowl at the end of the season. What was it called?
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game.
No, that was the beginning of the season. Just the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl. Thank you. But they would always have all the quarterbacks come out and see who could throw the farthest, and the kickers to see if who could kick the farthest, punters, and Randall Cunningham kicked that like 88-yard punt one time, and then he threw it the longest too. Anyway, I think there should be a skills competition too, but again, more like full contact. Like somebody has to stand, 10 yards down range, and you get 3 balls to drive and try and hit them.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, and then you got 2 out of 3, and that guy is now going to the emergency room. That's 12 points. Like I just feel like that would be also fun to watch, a skills competition, but it's like there's real stakes. Like if you hit somebody, they're going down.
Like it.
I think this is a win.
All right. Well, again, this ranks up there with my Build-A-Beer idea. I had another one a couple weeks ago too. I just feel like we could be making money hand over fist here, gents. We just need to put this shit into action.
And everybody signs a waiver because we're not paying out insurance or anything like that.
Oh, fuck no.
Your own.
Fuck that. Who needs that?
No. In fact, you make money if you get injured.
Everybody's got a GoPro on them.
Yeah, oh, totally. Yes. And there's drones everywhere. Like every angle possible is captured all the time.
And they have tasers on them also. If somebody's not taking long enough, or no, the viewers get to control the drone.
Oh God, yes.
Yep.
Can they be
Now we've
those
got a
drones
viewer component.
that the Ukrainians are using, and they just can like randomly blow up too?
Yes. You saw the video today, the drone that hunted the guy down and then blew him to pieces. Yeah,
and
that
then,
was
yeah,
nice.
and then his buddy shot him in the head just to put him out of his misery.
Yeah,
that was that was intense. Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's what we want to do with
medic.
those drones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all in on this. Sorry, Jefe, I cut you off there.
Dude, this is totally like a Hunger Games thing. Like the more you donate, the more powers your drone has. So like, you've donated $100,000 to the league. Your drone now has a minigun on it.
Oh my God, you've unlocked the minigun.
Yes. Oh, so you totally have like, at-home interaction. I would watch the shit out of that league. Even if I couldn't afford the minigun, I want to see the motherfucker that has one, and I want to see what he does with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. Grenade launchers? Oh, yeah, dude. All the way. Anyway, Jefe, what were you going to say? Sorry, I got excited.
Oh, just a couple quick things. First of all, I did my very first NFL predictions of the season. Me and my younger son did our predictions today.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I want to write this down because, as you know, I was perfect through the playoffs last year, all the way through the Super Bowl. Didn't miss a single one. I think I guessed all the scores exactly right. Also, memory serves.
You were completely.
Perfect. I've never seen anything like it.
We got Bengals over Packers for the Super Bowl.
Bengals over Packers. Okay.
And also, you know how you guys are always with the disclaimers about you're not financial advisors, you're not medical professionals.
Yes. Right, which is always true. That's not changed. Yeah,
always applies. I am not a life coach. I'm not, I don't give good advice, nothing like that. But I can tell you this. This is for all the kids out there listening, all the younger people. Before you go and get married, be 1,000,000% sure. Just be sure.
Amen. Amen.
Just please, just be sure. Just look around and make sure. Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah, I really wish you would have asked, Jeff.
Yeah,
I really wish you would have. And not even that I would have said no, because I didn't know anything about her, but I would have at least asked some questions to you that you would have had to answer that would have been impossible for you to answer.
Yeah. Someone tried. You guys know him. One of you know him really, really, really well. His name is Mike.
Uh-huh. And his advice just.
He said, Jesus always wins.
Uh-huh.
You can't go up against religion.
Yep. That's very sound advice.
It was McShane's brother. He tried to save me.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's okay. You live, you learn, you die. Maybe you do it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends how it works.
Yeah. So next break, I got the farm report.
All right.
And
excellent.
I got a roulette update.
Okay.
Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
I think in fact, I had one of our listeners this week actually ask me how your roulette slump was going, and so I know people out there are wondering. So I that's great that you have an update for us. That'll be a really fantastic reason, if nothing else, to tune in to the second half of the show.
Yep. Little update on the roulette.
Hey, Jefe, are you letting people hawk Tuah on the tables out there tonight?
No. I mean, if they ask, I'd consider it, but it hasn't come up yet.
Okay.
You got to ask nice, though. I'm considering hawk Tuah-ing on myself, actually.
All right. I'm going to go. We'll be
All right,
back in a-
brother.
right.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
All right. See you.
All right. Fitz, how did that beer go?
Great. Actually, I'm really happy with it. I really wish I knew the ABV on it, because I'm actually a little bit more buzzed than I typically am with a smoothie like this. So I'm thinking it might be one of those, every once in a while they creep up over 7, and I'm kind of feeling like this one might have been up there. It just doesn't say anywhere, but I loved it. It was really refreshing. Very, very desserty, but just enough sour in there to keep you coming back for more. I really liked it. That sour taste of vagina. there's
Never.
a
I've
little
never
bit of
had
that
a-
in there.
I've never had a sour vagina. I'm sorry.
No, not in a bad way. It's not a sour vagina. It's just the chemicals that are naturally emitted there are to keep things acidic, and there was a little bit of that in there, and I really enjoyed it. So it was, I guess, like eating vagina. How was your beer? Lemon fresh. Exactly. Thank you, Tabby. Thank you. Yes. God, lemon fresh. Thank you. I couldn't think of that. Lemon. Mm. Oh God.
Sorry.
I'm
still.
I
trying
didn't
to
see
get
that coming
past
either.
the sour vagina.
I did not
God.
see that coming either, McShane. It just kind of came out. See
No.
what I mean? The ABV was a
Yeah.
little bit higher than I thought it would be, because I'm a little loose. So anyway, how was your beer? How'd that
Well,
finish?
that's what she said. It's good. It was just a straight up sour though. I was expecting more peach and a little bit more flavor to it, which I expected a sour obviously, but I expected a little bit more nuance, and I just didn't get that. So I'm looking forward to the next one, and I'm gonna stick with the sour theme. I have 2 down there, and I'm not sure which one I'm gonna go with. I have a kiwi one and a blackberry one, so that'll be a decision when I get down there. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
it was a good starter for the show.
All right. I like it. I mean, same. Fantastic start. And I have one that's, man, this literally is going to be a coin flipper for me. I don't know how this is going to go. It's either going to be an absolute train wreck, or I just found a hidden gem. So I'm excited for it though.
All right. Well, let us go beer up. Second half is coming up. All right. Getting into beer 2. If you guys were in the Patreon, you guys would be in the chat, and if you're in the chat, then you'd hear the music we were playing in between the first half and the second half while we go grab beers. Everybody goes and takes a leak. A little SR-71 was playing, so that was funny. So
Yeah, those guys are
singing
just
along in chat.
some really good poppy punk.
Yeah.
Just all their songs just make you fucking feel good. And also, you want to go out and, it's like fuck or fight music. Like you want to go out and fuck somebody up in one way or another. Good stuff.
But it's like comical, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
going to be a Looney Tunes fight.
Right. Right. Someone's going to pull out a pistol that's going to have a little flag that says bang.
All right. Getting into beer 2. I am drinking Echidna.
Echidna.
Echidna? Okay, the H is silent.
That's with it. Well, it's a K. It's a K sound. Echidna.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
This is a sour ale brewed with coconut, kiwi, mango, banana, and pineapple. It is a 7%er pastry sour. Now it's interesting. This is actually named after a half woman, half snake in Greek mythology.
Yeah, Echidna was the she birthed like some of the most terrifying monsters ever in Greek mythology. Like she was the mom, because her husband, her fuckboy was
Typhon.
what was his name? Typhon. Yes, thank you, Typhon. And so he apparently, like, according to Greek mythology, we're probably gonna get banned for me saying this, but he raped her repeatedly. So not only were the kids that she had like from a monster, and then she was half monster, but also that was like hate fucking, and so they came out with like a particular flavor of heinousness and ornery. So yeah, she's the mom of some bad shit. So that I hope I hope the beer's better than what it's named after. Holy shit.
So this is by Mortalis Brewing. And at first I thought it was the animal, because the animal, there's like a little spiny anteater that's named the echidna.
Yeah, little echidna, yeah.
Which doesn't really match the awfulness that you just described. So I'm
No.
we'll see which one this leans towards. Big head on it, very frothy, kind of MO for one of these types of sours. So I'm expecting a lot of sweet and a lot of tropical. So we'll see how that goes. Definitely smells like it. Ooh, very fresh. Wow. Big time pineapple. A lot of mango. Coconut's heavy. The thing that gets me about this one isn't necessarily the taste. The taste might come together a little bit better by the end of the beer. But I can taste each little feature in it. You get the lactose because of the style. I taste the coconut, I taste the kiwi, I taste the mango, I taste the banana, I taste the pineapple. I don't know that it's like it's not melding into anything yet. It's like I can taste each of them through. I'm experiencing each. I've never had a beer do this before.
That's kind of fun.
And that's after one little drink of it.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to warm up for you. Because usually beers typically open up more the warmer they get. So
yeah, that's very strange. I've never had a beer where I could taste each feature that they've actually described. Usually it comes together to make something else that's kind of magical, right? Or to form something else.
Like
Not
Voltron.
That. Ooh, gosh. All right, what you got?
First of all, real quick before I get to my beer, we do have a couple of people that have joined chat. Beard of Liberty has just popped in. So what's up, Beard? Moxie is also joining us. And I think
good evening.
Yeah. Yes, good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. You're here for the second half of the show, which is arguably the better half. My back half is way better than my front half. I look better going away than I do coming at you. Oh, that's what she said. Anyway, so I've found a gem, I believe here. So first of all, the brewery is the gem. It's Bowie Brewing. Bowie is an outfit out of Astoria, Oregon. And they were like literally, if you look on their page, their history is they come from, I'm gonna say it and then we can all joke about it, but they come from semen, which I guess all brewing companies technically do. But these guys are like actual fishermen that were going out on the boats and fishing every day. And they had a buddy who was doing these home brews, and so when they'd come back in, from a long fishing trip, they had home brews waiting for them, and they're like, dude, you need to market this shit. It's good. And so these fishermen all got together and created Bowie Brewing. And for a long time, they had like 3 beers. They had a Czech style Pilsner, they had a lager, and they had an American ale, and that was it. And so they were, I'm not saying they weren't good beers. I'm just saying they were boring. They were just kind of like, home comfort beers. And then recently, and I don't know when this started, but very recently, they started to expand their lineup. And by expanding their lineup, they also started to do some one-offs. And yeah, you've got it right there. Tonight I am enjoying Love Lost at Sea. I picked this can up because of the gorgeous artwork, and this artwork was done by a local tattoo artist up in Astoria. I feel like I need to go up and visit this person because I really like the blending of colors, the use of obviously the skull, but the skull has an eye patch, and then there's a jellyfish in there, and it's just I don't know. I was taken aback by the can art, but then on top of it, Bowie Brewing is now making barley wines, and this is a barley wine. Love Lost at Sea is a traditional barley wine using all the traditional barley wine malts. It's a 12.4 percenter, so it's a big step up from what I just did and from what I've been doing lately. But I was just in the mood for something that just kind of hit, you know. And I haven't had a barley wine in a while, so I'm gonna taste this thing. I will tell you, this thing poured thick. It was almost like a maple syrup, almost like an imperial stout. Very viscous. No glugging when it came out of the can. It was just like a steady pour. It just like stuck together. It's like fucking Slimer or something. I don't know. But anyway, here we go.
Some of my fondest stories of Fitz are after he's had a barley wine. This is not your, this is kind of a dangerous style for you. It always is.
Yeah. I have fun after. Wow, dude. So very thick mouthfeel. Almost like a gummy bear or a gummy worm. It's that thick, dude. I've never had a barley wine that just stuck with you like this. Coats the tongue, the throat. Real slick. Very nice caramel flavors. Just kind of like seeping, through your teeth, over your tongue, down the back of your throat. It's like, you know what it is? This tastes like an alcoholic version of a Werther's butterscotch candy. This is Werther's in a fucking glass. Oh, this is good. Very caramely. I mean, if you don't like caramel, this is not your thing, but man, is this good. Some hints of chocolate in there, but I'm not gonna say it's a chocolate beer by any means, but just, you start getting a dark enough caramel and you're into the chocolate. So maybe a little toffee, but wow, what a beer. Bowie Brewing, fucking bringing it home. Well done. This is a home run, dude. This is a really great beer. And I'm 2 sips in, so kind of like I said with your beer, we'll see how this warms up and what else opens up with it. But man, this is good.
Not too boozy?
No, not too boozy.
Right.
You're drinking a 12, but it's not overpowering. It doesn't take away from anything else that's going on. You just are like, wow, that's a fun beer.
Those are the most dangerous barley wines, the ones where there's no governor on it. You want almost a little heat, just so you know, I don't want to go back for another. Right. But then something like that can be a really dangerous night. Really dangerous night. Well, good for you. That's a hell of a find. And like you were saying, they have a really boring lineup when you first glance at it.
Yeah.
But I think what they did though is, they had, 6 really solid beers, established those beers, and now they come back and go, okay, let's go ahead and do something a little bit different now. And that's kind of, they're expanding a little bit. So they're just a little bit more careful than a lot of folks probably.
They're doing a porter. That Decapitator, I did review that on the show, and it was very good. It sounds
familiar.
Yep. Yeah, that fucking four-eyed goat. I can't. That's burned in my head forever. But that was a Doppelbock, and that was a really good one. Doppelbocks are not easy to make either, which is why I was like, wait, are you sure this is by Bowie? Like the same Bowie Brewing up in Astoria. But so this is just another reason we're going to have to get up to Astoria when you and Jefe get up here. I mean, what a beautiful place. You're just not going to believe that a place like that exists. But then on top of it, you got some really solid breweries up there, Claim 52 and Bowie. And I mean, it's beer haven up there. And I love that Oregon brewers are finally going, hey, there's other stuff besides IPAs and fucking Pilsners here. We can do some other things. And I love it because they're making quality shit.
All right. So getting into the videos from this week, there was a big pivot.
Yeah.
There was a big
Corinne
pivot.
Jean-Pierre. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe that kind of started it. Did that start it?
That felt like it started it to me. Yeah, it did. Because she came out. I don't actually think she knows what the fuck she's talking about most of the time. She was literally hired because she is a human gaslight.
Well, she really is. I mean that's all she does. Let me see if this is. No, that's her. Not.
Dude,
That's
could you
Netanyahu.
imagine? That's your career. You're a professional gaslighter. I need you
That's all you
to
do.
go out on stage and convince people that what they have seen as true is fake. Go. You're hired. Fucking crazy.
That's all I got to do. I just got to go up there and lie. Sweet. I'm in.
Several recent chief fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. For thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy, this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. And instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos. And it is, again, done in bad faith. Ironically, several recent chief fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops.
One of the things that really bugs the hell out of me on this is that, yes, they're taking it away from the actual quote unquote performance, right? But they're also calling attention to, the 25th Amendment stuff. Is this guy actually fit for being in office? There have been numerous videos that have been legitimate videos, and now they're trying to say those videos aren't accurate because they've been allegedly doctored. Well, these are videos that are off of people's actual phones while they're showing the full story, the full unedited video, while Democrats are trying to push that the video that is actually accurate is the one that they're showing, which is totally, it is completely doctored. It's cut up, it's edited. Yeah. You've got different angles showing, and they're telling you, no, this is the official story. You need to pay attention to the official story, not whatever's happening over there, because this is what we said it was. That's all this is coming down to.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I have a problem with people when Biden was looking for his chair, but it looked like he was trying to take a shit, and everybody ran with the fact that he was taking a shit.
Yep.
I have a problem with that only because then the Democrats can say, see, it's a smear campaign, no pun intended, but they're just trying to make him look bad. Whereas if you just let the guy be who he is, he's going to hang himself. He looks awful by himself. You don't have to do anything to make him look worse. It's kind of like when Trump, if you just push play and let him talk, he starts sounding like a moron. The Democrats don't have to do anything to make him sound stupid. He does it on his own. And so it's like, let these people be who they are. Let them show who they truly are. And we don't have to emphasize any part of it because it's there. It's true.
So here's one of the press conferences from this week, and it's interesting because this came right out from Biden-Harris headquarters.
Yes, it did.
On the left, they post the Trump-Biden humiliating U.S. on world stage. So you've got Fox on the left.
Biden appeared to forget the name of his own DHS chief.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband. Thanks to all the members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way. But all kidding aside.
So he melts down on stage, right? But the only video that the Biden-Harris X feed, okay, this is their official feed, post was this.
I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way. But all kidding aside, Secretary Mayorkas, as well as, I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way. But all kidding aside, Secretary Mayorkas.
They didn't play the whole video. They didn't play anything leading up to it. They cut it right after he glitched.
Right after the mumble fuck. Then they started playing it. It's like, actually, Fox, for once, is showing the truth, what really happened. And CNN, well, I shouldn't say for once, but CNN is once again, swinging off the balls of Biden and being like, well, we won't show the weird glitch, the weird hiccup. We'll just, oh God, are you going to show the parachute video? Oh God, this was almost better than what we just went over. But it's it's so blatantly obvious to all of us that the guy is not there, that this is absolutely elder abuse. He has lost his mind. He is senile, except when they either A, pump him full of drugs, or B, wheel out a body double, which you've established many times is actually happening. That's not a conspiracy theory. They have several body doubles of him, and those people can actually speak. So when they really need him to say something important, that's who they wheel out.
There's another video when he was in Normandy. They had some parachuters coming in, paratroopers, and they land, and he wanders off. He just up and like leaves. The PM of Italy has to come over, grab him by the arm, and say, "Hey, buddy, hey, come on over here, eh?" I don't know why an Italian is going to talk like they're Canadian, but
yeah, she's all of a sudden Canadian.
Yeah, I couldn't talk with my hands.
That's great.
So sorry.
No, it's well, right. I got it.
But you've got this clip, right? And this was the first thing that hits. Like, there's no time to actually edit it. This is what happened. Then the Democrats come out and say, well, that clip was not real. And then they give you the actual clip, which is the same fucking thing.
Yep. The exact same thing, actually.
It doesn't make any sense. It's total gaslighting. It's like they can't get out of their own ways. And I'm fine with it because it's great content for us. I hate that it makes the United States look like a bunch of fucking idiots. But it's so blatant lying. And people fall for this shit. And it's just I
guess that's the sad part is like if you could just go on X and everybody out there was like, oh, it's bullshit, or leave him alone, he's an old man. Yes, he looks like he doesn't know what's going on, but leave him alone, he's an old man. At least then people are admitting the reality and saying, hey, let's have some compassion and some heart. I could get behind that, actually, partially. I mean, he's the leader of our country, so then maybe we should remove him. But okay, I hear your comment. But when they just point and scream, you're a liar, you're faking it, you have to make him look bad because he's doing so great. It's like you're not even in the same fucking reality as I am. You're in the ocean adrift and saying, hey, you're not allowed to be on that boat because it floats. You need to be in here with me. It's like, no, I don't. I'm fine on my yacht. Thank you very much. And I'm not even going to pick you up because you're insane. And I'm not bringing you back to the mainland with those kind of fucking thoughts. That's the part where I can't have compassion for that level of idiocy. I just can't.
And truly, it's that level of idiocy. It's that level of manipulation.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing that's really, really bizarre to me, that people are actually putting up with this. Another narrative that came out big time over the last 2 weeks, we didn't get into it last week, but this Trump derangement syndrome has been massive.
Wow. And it's a thing, dude. It's an actual thing.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. You have AOC out there saying that I'm going to be put in jail if he gets into office. Rachel Maddow, we're going to jail.
Yes, yep. You got Rachel Maddow. You got what's the other fucking moron that said that this week? From
Joy
from
Reid.
The View. Yes.
Yes. Joy Behar.
Behar.
Yeah,
the fucking cow over there at the and then you got AOC coming out, and she looked unhinged. Have you seen this speech? She looked absolutely
the one from
unhinged.
today?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Hold on a second.
She's not with it. Like
well, the amount of pandering that's going on too.
Yeah. She knocked over a fucking mic. Yeah. Go ahead.
So let me here.
like 100 people there, by the way.
So that video wasn't what I was looking for. Basically, she comes out on stage and she's played some Cardi B song and there's nothing but swearing, and she is jumping up and down like she's at a rave. Like this is like the biggest. Like this is like her moment. She's wearing shorts. She's got this white button up. She's jumping around trying to get everybody into this like she's some kind of a fucking cheerleader. It was just bizarre. And then the rants that she goes on about how they have to fight back and like completely omitting the fact that the Democrats have been in power for quite some time now. She's getting pretty much everything that she wants. Right. And then when Bowman comes out, it was bizarre also. He's jumping around, slamming a stool, yelling ceasefire now. It was just very, very strange. Very, very like people trying to relate, and it just didn't it never comes off right.
Totally. That's exactly what I was going to say. It was like, okay, the message was like their handlers were like backstage going, okay, remember, you're trying to hook the young people. You're trying to relate to the young folks, but then deliver this ridiculous message about Israel. Go. I mean, it just, the two things are so incongruent. I mean, nobody on the planet could actually pull that off, because the two things you're trying to tell me that hot is cold and cold is hot, right? Right, guys? Are you with me? Let's play a song that you all know and jump around with me. And I'll shake my tits and let's see if we can all be on the same page that hot is actually cold and cold is actually hot. No. Any thinking person knows the difference, and we're gonna sit back and go, you're fucking full of shit. What are you doing? This is awkward. And they they boosted that sound on that. It sounded like there was 5,000 people there. There was like maybe 150. Yeah. There was not that many people there, and she's jumping around acting like I've rallied more people at a fucking Mad Caddies concert than she just rallied right there. I personally have started at the end of the concert. I have rallied more people than that to get the caddies to come back out on stage than she just did to try and get us behind whatever the fuck she was trying to get us behind. It was stupid.
Well, here's her with Jamaal Bowman. Hope you guys everybody remembers Jamaal Bowman, the guy who to stop one of the votes, he decided to pull a fire alarm.
Oh, right.
Congress.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yep. That piece of work.
That fucking idiot. Yep.
What's up, everybody? We are just a few days out till the election day, our primary election on Tuesday, June 25th. But the good news is that the polls are open right now, and we are here for our brother, Jamaal Bowman. We want to turn out the vote. I don't care if you live in New York 16 and are turning out to vote for him. I don't care if you live outside New York 16. We are texting our friends. We are turning out. We are calling our friends in Tuckahoe, in White Plains, in New Rochelle, in Yonkers, and telling them to vote for Jamaal Bowman.
Ceasefire now, y'all. That's what we're doing.
Right.
Ceasefire now. Let's get it popping.
Right.
The polls are open today. The polls are open tomorrow. Make sure you get out to vote. Election day is Tuesday. Let's go. We need record turnout all across the district, especially in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Co-op City, and Edenwald. Let's get it popping. Let's change the world. It's the many versus the money. We're going to win.
Right.
Let's go, baby.
We're going to win. We're going to take on AIPAC, and we're going to kick some Wall Street ass. So let's go.
Stop the bombs.
I'm all for getting excited and getting out the vote. Okay, fine. No problem with that either. But I don't know. I want my leaders to act a certain way. And this is so unclassy, so ghetto, so just, and it's that fucking influencer.
Mentality. I was just going to say, I don't want an influencer in office. I don't, because influencers are there to, well, you said cheerleader earlier. She was clapping like a fucking cheerleader. Everything she was saying, she was a fucking It's exactly what she looked like. It was a cheerleader. Okay, let's go. I half expect her to like jump up and do the splits. And then you got the football player behind her being like, yo, 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 come on out and vote. Yo, money versus the many. We're going to do this shit. Yo, back me up. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Speak your mind on the issues at hand. Don't tell me what I need to do without backing it up with some reasons why I need to do it. I mean, if you notice that entire video, there were 0 reasons why I should. They were just telling me I should.
Just go do it. Yeah.
Just go do it because it's what you do. But why?
I said so.
Well, don't worry about that part. You're thinking way too much about this. Just go out and do it.
Here's her unhinged moment.
Are you ready to win this country back? And are you ready to fight for freedom and a ceasefire gun? I don't know about y'all, but I am ready to fight. Let's hear it. Let's real quick. Thank you everybody so much.
Why does she have to switch into talking like she's black?
I don't know. And she did like the supermodel hair thing, which look,
it looked like she's about to give the mic a blowjob. That's what was going on there. She's about to hawk Tuah it.
Right. I mean, if you're feeling yourself and you feel like you look fucking good that day, do it. Like, get into it. But also, kind of back to what you were saying, McShane, I also want my leaders to get back to a place of being dignified, of having a message, of being able to speak that message clearly, of being able to speak to me in language that I understand, that I don't have to quote unquote relate to in order to get. Even somebody with a very strong foreign accent can speak very clearly in a way that I understand, and I understand the issues and I want to get behind them. This kind of stuff is like so ridiculously and obviously pandering to
it totally is.
A certain crowd. I mean, if I were a minority in this country from, let's say, Harlem, let's say, wherever, Hell's Kitchen, and I saw her do that, I'd be like, yo, you're fucking posing, and that's offensive. I don't need you to pander to me. Speak to me like I'm a fucking person. Regardless of what my experiences and my history have been, maybe I am a gangbanger. Maybe I've killed some people. Maybe I sell drugs down the street. But you still need to talk to me like a fucking human.
Or maybe I'm just somebody from that area. It
doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't. It's pandering. If you can communicate, you shouldn't have to try and do whatever this is. It's insulting.
It's offensive.
But you've got a president. We've got a president. Not you. He's not your president. He's our president. I mean, I don't really want to claim him either. But, he's. How many times have we seen that he's out buying fried chicken, or having dinner with a black family?
Eating fried chicken.
How
it was so
fucking
bad.
Insulting can we get? This is like the Saturday Night Live. It's almost like Saturday Night Live is writing for them.
Yes,
and they're doing it.
Exactly. I mean, if he comes out in a fucking watermelon helmet, we lost it. We're done.
It's just insulting. I can't believe anybody
that's the next step.
Would show up and cheer for this. How anybody could vote for this is just, it's just ridiculous. But the beautiful part was at the very end, far left Muslim protesters showed up and really demonstrated against Jamaal Bowman and AOC for not stopping the war. So I thought that was classic.
Yeah, what's funny is I think, if we're really being totally honest about all of it, I mean, they are fighting a losing war, and it's evidenced in the fact that they are this desperate. And time after time, we see them come out, we see them behave desperately, we see them get little to no effect, and then the backlash to their ridiculousness is this huge wave of multitudes of people coming out and saying you're full of shit. And so, like, literally at every turn, they are losing the war. They're losing the battle for, I guess the hearts of America, the moral compass of America. It's kind of like the LGBTQ 1-2A thing, which is like, look, I don't care who you want to fuck, when you want to fuck them, how you want to fuck them. I really don't care. As long as they're over the age of 18, do your thing. I am all about it. Like, I encourage you to do it. Don't try and fuck me. Don't fuck me because I said no, but do your thing. If it's consenting adults, do your thing. But on the flip side of that, I should not have to hear it or see it or have it thrown in my face for any reason. You don't need a fucking flag to show that you like to fuck people of the same sex. I don't need that. Flags are for sports and nations. And you could argue that sports are nations. But that's it. That's what flags should be for. They aren't for what your sexual orientation is or that you somehow feel oppressed. And I know we were going to get into this, but there's a guy, I don't know his name, but he put out a video and he basically said, look, if you have all of corporate America backing up your cause and advertising for you for an entire month, you are not oppressed. You are not in the minority. You are not somehow on the fringe of society. You literally are being bought and paid for by corporate America. So stop trying to say you're the victim. You're not. You're a tool. That's all you are. And that's, all the memes that have come out this month about how, like, for the month of June, all these companies are, flying the rainbow flag. And then as soon as July hits, it's like, fuck you all. You mean shit. We're all pro-American and we're going to wave the red, white, and blue for 4th of July. And that's exactly what will happen. Watch. And so if you don't think it's about money and if you don't think you're a tool, then you're not paying attention.
So I want to bounce this off of you and our folks out there. This is Professor St. Ange on something, an announcement that Trump made earlier this week.
Oh, yes. This is so good.
Thing pretty awesome, eliminating the income tax and replacing it with tariffs. Will the Chinese be funding the federal government? Setting aside the odds of getting such a thing passed, let's break it down. So most mainstream economists recoil at the very thought of an import tariff. The reason is because tariffs get passed on to customers, as in Americans end up paying them. So tariffs convert to essentially a lumpy sales or consumption tax. Of course, income taxes are much worse because Americans pay those too. But the trick with taxes is that whatever you tax, you get less of. That's why, for example, they tax cigarettes. So if tariffs punish consumption, income taxes punish production, work, effort, investment, the things that make us rich. So if you'd like your country to be rich, obviously you would rather tax consumption, so tariffs, rather than taxing production. Indeed, most of Asia already does this, which is one reason they are currently wiping the floor with America. In fact, in America's economic golden age, the late 19th century, the Victorian age, the federal government was almost entirely funded by import tariffs that averaged about 30 cents on the imported dollar. Sadly, those days are gone because progressives wanted a much bigger government and correctly believed that an income tax would do the trick. Passed in 1913, the income tax started very small, as all taxes do, hitting under 1% of the population with a top rate of just 6%, all very reasonable. Then, of course, it grew like a monster, today hitting nearly 80% of Americans with a top rate of 37%. The lesson here, of course, is that not only does an income tax make you poorer, it makes the government much bigger. It's because unlike tariffs, where you can only tax so much since the tax is visible and avoidable with black markets, for income taxes, the sky is the limit, pay or go directly to jail. So how much would the federal government shrink? Well, today, America imports about $4 trillion in goods and services. If those all sported a 30% tax, that would in theory raise $1.2 trillion. Of course, toss in dynamic effects, the tariffs reducing imports, and maybe it's $1 trillion. Compare that to today's $2.8 trillion income tax, and you're looking at a roughly $2 trillion cut in government spending. That is approaching Javier Milei territory, and of course, it would free up millions of government workers to go out and find honest work flipping burgers or perhaps painting houses. Some might even learn to code. While a $2 trillion reduction in taxes is pretty exciting, the real magic is the composition. You're no longer taxing production. So mom and pop shops, factories, workshops blossom like wildflowers across the burned out Rust Belt. America's manufacturers could even finally compete on a level playing field. Toss the bloated bureaucrats as well, and you can actually reverse the tide, carrying away our industrial base to exotic lands. So SX, brought to you by Unchained.com. Like all small government ideas, from ending the Fed to a flat tax, replacing the income tax with tariffs is such an obviously good idea that, of course, Washington will never do it. At least they won't, absent an Argentina-level crisis that finally opens the political Overton window to where voters decide radical surgery is the only way to save the patient. Still, when good ideas come out of politicians, I will keep cheering them no matter the odds. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Highly suggest going out there and going to Peter St. Onge, PeterStonge.com. And he is at Prof. St. Onge, Onge, on X. Trump has said, let's get rid of the education department. He's mentioned this now, where let's end the income tax and make everybody from outside of the country pay for it in tariffs. These are some mighty inflammatory things that he's saying, and I am all for everything that he's said so far.
Yeah,
doing it's another story, but
yeah,
that's.
Yeah. I know. The first time he was in office, I think like a lot of us, I bought into the inflammatory things that were put out about him.
Drain the swamp.
Yeah, drain the swamp, and the fact that he was recorded back in the 80s saying that you grab him by the pussy, the fact that he was inherently racist, which again, not to go down that rabbit hole, but he's not. He's clearly never said anything racist at all, other than we should close the borders, which they somehow made that racist. And now I know in my heart I'm no racist, and I want to close the fucking borders. So, you can go line by line of all the things that they've tried to sort of smear him with. And I said it earlier in the show, I'll say it again. He is not the sharpest knife in that knife drawer. Not at all. But he says things like straight up to the point, and he has some decent ideas. And I think if we were to hear those ideas out, Rachel Maddow going to prison and all that aside, which I think is maybe not a bad idea, but okay, let those people out in the wild and let them go. But his actual ideas for fixing the economy, for, people keep bringing it up too, that, on the world stage, that he shoved aside other politicians in order to be in front. And that he didn't have any diplomacy. You know what? Yeah, he's a little rough around the edges, but right now, isn't that kind of what America needs? Right now, we're so fucked. We're so low on the world stage. I kind of want a guy to shove his way up front. I kind of want someone to be like, no, we're the best here, and fuck off. You can get behind me for this picture, because I'm an American president. We have the best military on the planet, and you're going to get behind me right now. I like the symbology of that. I like the machismo of that a little bit. I'm not into machismo, but I get it. I understand why he did it. And so, point by point, I am not a pro-Trumper. I don't like the man personally. But for what America needs right now, canceling the income tax and creating tariffs sounds like a really fucking good idea. How about we start making American companies and American manufacturing a priority again, which is what he tried to do, and he only had 4 years, and he started to do it, and then boom, he was gone. I think economically, I could vote for a man like that if I knew the price of chicken and gas and my everyday needs would come down significantly if we got this man into office. I don't like his politics. I think he's a douchebag. But if it's going to help me on my day-to-day, I'm in.
I want a John Wayne type in office. I want somebody who's willing to walk out there and is willing to go toe-to-toe, and you can believe that he's willing to go toe-to-toe. You can't, there's no way any responsible human being can believe that Biden has the capability of doing that. And what's worse is his cronies are just as bad. They're just not as feeble and elderly and they're nefarious as fuck. That's where they come in. That's their twist. I would love to have somebody that was like that. Yeah, I'm definitely no Trumper, but and I don't. Somebody tried to peg me as MAGA the other day, and it still fucking bothers the fuck out of me.
That's just comical.
No, I just want somebody who's competent, who doesn't shit on everybody, who only believes in what the left wants. I want somebody who's going to bring the whole fucking country together. I'm very much a centrist. I don't know why that is so fucking hard. I know the center is radical at this point, but I don't see why we can't shift back to that. And that's where we need to get to. Is Trump that? I have no idea, but I love the ideas of getting rid of, putting more effort into Bitcoin, getting rid of the income. Can you imagine having an extra 25% in your paycheck to fuck around with?
Dude,
that's investment money.
It's even more here in Oregon because we don't have sales tax. And everyone's like, oh, we don't have sales tax here. Yeah, but they fucking tax your income. The state does. I mean, I literally, dude, I'm not even kidding. Like 41% of my income is gone in taxes before I ever see it.
That's just
41%.
That's rape.
So every
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Every hour I work, 26 minutes of that is not mine. It's the government's. And the roads have holes in them. The fucking banks are insolvent. There's cops are like, oh, hey, you live on the wrong side of the tracks. We can't show up. The sheriff's department. What am I fucking paying for? How about this? Here we go. I go to work and 100% of my earnings go to me. And my family. Yeah. They go in my bank account. And then if I need you, I'll pay you what I think you're worth when you show up and save me, revive me, shoot the bad guy, fill the pothole, fix my electricity. How about that? I'll pay you what I feel like you just deserved. Oh, shit. You just helped me out in a really bad crisis. I'm going to give you $1,000 because that helped a lot. Or you know what? You didn't do any. You arrested me when there was somebody on my property being a vagrant. You get none of my money. Fuck off. Like, how would that work? Like, let's start a fucking underground, black economy, dark side economy. I'll say it that way. I wasn't trying to be racist. A black side economy of, government services that only get what we feel like they deserved. If my whole neighborhood feels like they deserved 20% of our income for that, great. Take it willingly and gladly. But do your job. You don't just get it just for showing up.
I wouldn't hesitate to have like a subscription type service. Somebody doesn't want to pay for their fire and water.
I like that.
Fuck you then.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't get any fire, water. You don't. No police for you. Cool.
Right. Something goes wrong, it's on you.
Lower.
Yep.
But that should make my subscription even better, right? The roads in front of my house should be fucking amazing.
Right.
I should get preferential treatment when I need an ambulance.
Yes. I mean, if you don't like what HBO shows, like if HBO is putting out some shitty shows, you cancel HBO. Yeah. I did. Disney is right on the fucking cusp for me because my God, they can't push me any further towards being gay. I just can't do it.
They really
like you're not going to get my money anymore. Yeah.
I like that. I want to commend you, and I want to commend us and our listeners for not pushing us to get into the whole acolyte discussion.
Oh yeah, no, can't do it.
Just congratulations on avoiding that.
Can't and won't. I made it. I made it through precisely 2.5 episodes of that, and I'm done. And you know what was great is my wife, she didn't really know anything of like the controversy. You know, she just likes a good story.
Canon.
And yeah, and so I was like, she's like, so what's the big deal about episode 3 of The Acolyte? And I'm like, well, episode 3 basically shoots holes in every other Star Wars that ever was made, because Anakin is no longer special. And he was no longer, you know, this divine thing that came to balance the Force. He just was created by lesbians, possibly. And she was like, fuck that. We're not watching it. We're boycotting. We're done. And I just so appreciate that about her. She's on board. She gets it. She's not a Star Wars nerd, but she also realizes that we all have to take a moral stand on this, that it's fucking ridiculous.
Months ago, we talked about illegal migrants, undocumented workers. I think that's what the liberals want it to be called.
Yes, right.
We talked about them possibly becoming part of the army, stuff like that. Well, Seattle, up in your neck of the woods, Seattle Police Department is now accepting applications from DACA recipients. How would you like to be pulled over by an illegal?
Yeah, right. And you know what's super scary about that is like Seattle, they're like Oregon's big brother. Like whatever Seattle does, we tend to follow. And that's legitimate scary for me. We do have a Jefe sighting. Jefe right on time. Couldn't have scripted it better. Welcome back.
Thanks.
How's the night going?
Terrible.
Wow. God.
Yep.
I feel like we need to start a GoFundMe for you.
Wouldn't say no to that. Wouldn't say
Right?
no. Yeah, it's bad tonight. It's shit.
Is there anybody playing, or is it just or are they just tight?
A little bit of both. It's spotty. There are players, but just nobody good. Not yet. Not for me.
Have you
Still
thought
time.
about going in with maybe a fake breast or something?
Yeah, we talked about that before. That would be a good GoFundMe.
Okay.
Pay for Jefe's titties.
I mean, it's a win-win, honestly. It's a good
It's a
Saturday
win.
night, and you might make some more bank.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, I don't think.
You might have to shave a little bit more often.
Yeah. I shaved today.
Oh, the nether regions or just your face?
Yes.
Right. Nice. Yes.
I mean, I had time. You know, I had some time on my hands today.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, when you guys are what kind of shaver do you have, Jefe? Do you have a brand that you're like, yes, I swear by this one, or do you just use whatever you've been using?
Yeah, I use the same one. It's the Gillette Mach 5. It's just what
So you're like shaving, but so you use like a razor down there?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I actually, my oldest surprised me one day, asking if I could get him something for that region. I was like, well, okay, you're not 4 years old anymore, I guess. And I didn't know anything about that. Like, I didn't know, you know, the leaps and bounds they've made in that particular area of, you know, manscaping.
Personal hygiene. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got him the kit and he loves it. But yeah, no, I just use the old razor down there.
I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Manscaped.
Yeah.
Just, you know, from the point of view that it doesn't grab skin or whatever. Kind because I mean, I'm not gonna give anybody nightmares or anything, but I've had some like really bad experiences. And so I'm always curious when like this subject comes up, especially with you guys. And I guess we're publicly airing what we do to manscape down there. But there was a Costco model. I think it's a Norel. No, it's a Phillips that I bought that kind of has the skin guard thing. And to date, and I'm knocking on wood vigorously here, to date I have not gotten any skin caught in there, which I've done several times before. I mean, I have actual scars on my nether regions, so I'm pleased with it, and I just didn't know if you guys had like found a product that you really swear by and that has done well for you.
I don't think I have. I'll just use. I have a Harry's. I think it's like a 3-blade or 4-blade. I'll just use that. I usually keep it pretty tame, so it's usually pretty easy to knock down. If it gets out of control, though, I mean that's you got to bring in like a helicopter or something to really take down the brush. But
yeah, like you need. I mean, I've gotten close to having to whip out my weed eater a couple of times on it. My edger.
Well, everything grows like out of control in Oregon, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you guys have found this, but as I've gotten older, areas where I would like hair to grow, like let's just say, for instance, the top of my head, refuse to grow. And then areas where I don't want any more hair to grow, like my chest and genitals, it's fucking this. It's the goddamn 70s fucking Soul Train afro down there. And I don't know what the hell, why.
There's no evolutionary reason for this to happen.
Exactly. It's like my bush shouldn't grow to the level where I have a bulge in my shorts, but it ain't because I'm big. It's just hair, ladies. It's just hair.
You can play that off, though.
Well, yeah, I'm not telling them. I'm not going to tell them the truth. Not until they get down there. But, like.
Oh, look at the little bird in the nest. That's cute.
Yeah.
More like a worm. Anyway, Jefe, what's the farm report this week? I'm so eager. I know chat is dying. I can't wait. What do we got this week?
All right, let's get into it.
Silos. Did you know the biggest silo in the world is in Zurich, Switzerland? It's 387 feet tall.
Jesus.
That's huge.
That's huge.
And it can hold over 38,000 tons of grain. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
And if you fall into one of those things, you're kind of fucked.
Instant death. Yep.
It's kind of like quicksand. It takes the human body seconds to sink, minutes to suffocate, which sounds fabulous. And hours. It'll usually take hours to locate and recover the body. That's your fun farm report.
Definitely bringing in the dark.
Jesus. That's is that the Swiss Mill Tower?
Excellent question. That's next week.
No, I think that's it. 387 feet, 118 meters. It's in the Swiss city of Zurich.
I threw this one together while I was driving to work, so little small details.
Well, I think you got it, and it's actually that's a Guinness World Record too.
Yeah, two things. Well, actually, three things. Number one, fabulous farm report. That's like that's actionable intelligence that we can use in our everyday lives, which is basically like don't get caught in a grain elevator or in a silo because I've actually seen videos of how it happens. They threw in one of those silos and then like opened it, and it's bad. And what's crazy is if you're not in constant communication with your team, because people will jump in there to like pack it down and get more grain in there. But if you're packing it down and jumping on it and someone opens the bottom, it just creates this vortex and you get sucked down. And like you said, like quicksand.
Yeah.
The other thing is, so I don't know if you guys know this about my grandfather, but he was this is my mom's dad. He built, I'm not going to say thousands, but definitely many tens of hundreds of silos, corn silos above ground, grain silos from like Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Just that was his business. And right when my grandmother was pregnant with my mom, he got a government contract to go build nuclear underground silos in Greenland. So like the same technology that we use to do the silos above ground, they were like, hey, these guys know how to build like tunnels and, you know, silos that will actually withstand a lot of pressure. So he recruited them, and he was over in Greenland for like, I think 28 or 30 months, you know, almost 3 years. And I have all the letters that he was writing back to his family, and he couldn't talk about it because it was all government work. But I have all the letters of him writing to his wife and his newborn daughter about the work he was doing and just how cool it was, and really cold. It was very cold up there in Greenland. But yeah, my grandpa was part of that. So they took the technology that these farmers had, and they were like, hey, put that underground, and we're going to launch missiles out of it. And they were like, okay, we can do that. And those silos are still standing, or still there. There's still holes in the ground. Yeah, pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Jefe, was there anything from this week that was that blew your hair back?
Well, I'm going to share with you guys my roulette saga.
Yes, please.
So okay, when they taught us roulette, this is like almost 3 years ago, right? We would go in there on our breaks in this conference room, and they had a roulette wheel there, and you would, you know, you'd practice doing, you know, the payouts and pushing chips and spinning the ball and stuff like that. And if you went up there and spun the ball and it was good, they'd be like, okay, that's good. They never really told us how to do it. And so I've been apparently doing it kind of wrong for 2.5 years, but it's been working for me.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, it stopped working, and I couldn't fucking figure it out. Like, it got so bad to the point where I came on break when I was going to go to the table, and I did a YouTube search and watched a video on how to spin a roulette ball.
Okay.
So took some notes and went out there and tried it. And do you guys remember it was the Green Mile, Tom Hanks?
Yep.
Remember when he has a bladder infection?
Yes.
And that dude cures him of it, takes it from him, and then he goes into the bathroom when he pisses, and he's like, oh, like the look of relief on his face. So when I went to the roulette wheel, I spun the ball, and it just came off so smooth, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, I just wanted to hug somebody. It felt so good. It's still not super fast. Still working on speed, but at least it doesn't fly off the table or, you know, spin around 4 times. And then I was mucking for my buddy tonight, and he's really good at it, and he spun it, and I counted it. It went around 26 times before it turned red.
Wow.
Like, you fucker.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But you know what? You know what's good is having a buddy. That's only going to push you. Like, you're like, okay, that's the goal.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to keep practicing, but it's just nice to be able to have something respectable, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, good for you, man. I'm glad you got out of your slump. That's, you know, as a man, and I'm not saying this isn't the case for a woman. I'm just talking from my own experience. As a man, we're kind of very superstitious creatures in a way, because if we're in any sort of competitive environment and something goes well for us, then we're like, okay, whatever you just did on that, like duplicate that next time. And
Right.
then if it doesn't work, then you're like, oh shit, I gotta change something. I gotta tweak it just a little bit. And so we get in these like, I mean, we've all seen it. The slump for the batter, the pitcher who can't fucking hit a glove, the basketball player who can't hit a free throw. And I'm not talking about Shaq. I'm talking about guys that normally can shoot, and then all of a sudden they can't. We've all been there as guys, and it's psychologically damaging because it starts to consume everything you do throughout the day. You're in the shower thinking, okay, how the fuck am I going to spin this ball? and then you do it and you're like, okay. And instantly, like, I truly don't think women put this pressure on themselves, at least for menial tasks. I think they put their pressure on themselves for other things like, being a good mother or a good sister or a good friend or whatever. And we let all that go. And we're like, okay, but I have to spin this ball 26 times. Like, I got to make that happen. And it's a huge relief when you actually can do it. I see it in my martial arts students all the time. Like, they can't do a thing. And all of a sudden they show up to class and they get it. And they're like, oh, thank God.
It just
I didn't know how much longer I could do this. Yeah. It finally happened. So good for you, dude. I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
I got a quick funny story.
Yeah.
You made me think of it way back in the day when Buttercup and I were first kind of together.
Yeah.
Back in that. Hang on.
No, you hang on.
Okay, so you know what a slump buster is, right?
Oh yeah.
So I thought I knew what it was. I thought it was a hot girl. I thought it was a hot girl that got a baseball player had sex with. It's not. It's the opposite of hot. And I referred to Buttercup as a slump buster, thinking. I immediately regretted that. I can't remember exactly how it played out, but I just know that she gave me a look like, what the? Because she knew. She's a baseball fan.
Yeah. She's in there.
And I did not mean that. So, Buttercup, if you're listening,
she's
in chat.
I apologize.
She's not only here in chat, but she has a Arizona Diamondbacks thing on her fucking. That's her screenshot. So yes, she knows baseball and she knows what a slump buster is.
She called you an asshat, and she's mad at you again.
She was and is decidedly not a slump buster.
Most definitely, no. I would agree with that.
So, anyways,
Buttercup.
sorry, Buttercup, again. I gotta go.
She says send flowers.
Should. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think there's a dinner involved too.
Yeah, there's
no hot Tuah for you.
No, someone's gonna be eating some muff later. Oh shit.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good show.
All right, man.
You too. Later.
Oh God, that's so classic fucking Jefe.
That's exactly where we need to end the show, Fitz.
I agree. I think no more needs to be said. That was
no
fantastic.
Oh shit. Only Jefe. What beer are you taking to bed?
Damn, tough one tonight. Because on the one hand, you have the light, flowery, fun. Let's go out and pick flowers. Fruit smoothie, and then you have this fucking barley wine coming in with a baseball bat, strung up with barbed wire. This is Lucy in a glass. And for those of you who haven't. If you don't know who Lucy is, like, fuck off. This is Lucy in a glass. I think I'm gonna have to go with the barley wine. Bowie is fucking killing it. They are really doing a great job of expanding their lineup and doing it, the right way. They're doing it quality. They're not just putting out a bunch of shit that, like, hey, I hope you like one of these 81 beers. No, it's like, hey, we're putting out 7 beers and you're going to like at least 5 of them. And so, yeah, I'm going with the barley wine. This thing's fantastic. What about you?
I am going to go with the Mortalis Echidna. It was a little thick for me, a little bit too slushy, but
Okay.
it was good. It was good. It was a good tropical. I probably have one on a hot weekend when I'm hanging out by the pool, maybe.
Yeah.
It was good. It was totally worth it. And the flavors melded together nicely by the end too. It wasn't just, like what I described earlier, where it was like it tastes the kiwi, the coconut, the pineapple all together. But it was also very. I mean, there was a lot of. It was a chunky beast. I mean, there's a lot left over when it comes to the. We'll just call it the frothy goodness, I guess.
Chunky beast. I think I've had a few of those in my day.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great in bed. They just, it's not so fun the next morning. I'm sorry.
Taking us out.
Yes, taking us out.
Oh boy. Thank you to Beard of Liberty, Buttercup, Aaron, I Had to Say It Pod, L, Mike and Tabby from Gray's Tap Room, Jay from Porn Stash was here also, as well as Moxie. Thanks for being in chat, chiming along with us, and keeping us going here. If you guys want to follow us, it is at whiskey_hell on X, whiskeyhellpod.com is the website, and you guys can find us pretty much everywhere. Just look up Whiskey Hell Podcast and you're going to find us. Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we're going to be there.
Just real quick, we didn't do any cheers tonight. So quickly, I just want to, if you're hearing this, then this is to you, because here's a cheers to the best goddamn fans, casual listeners, even if you hate listening to us. You guys are all the best. You keep us honest. You keep us on our toes. So cheers to you all. I hope you all have a fantastic week this week. Can't wait to do it again next week.
I second that. Good call.
Nice.
I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.